What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cigars and Sips for those who appreciate the slow burn. So the last couple episodes, we've been in cigar lounges, and I've honestly enjoyed those immensely. But today, I thought, let me do a little something different. Today, we're staying home. No lounge, no crowd, just me, a bottle of bourbon, and a good cigar. And some time to actually sit down and appreciate both. Today, we talking bourbon. This is Borchetta Small Batch Bourbon from Big Machine Distillery in Tennessee. And I'm going to open the bottle for the very first time. Pour myself a glass, taste it neat, and we're going to see what happens when I introduce the 20th anniversary Perdomo. So let's slow this one down. Slow this one down. First, let's talk about what we have here. Borchetta Bourbon comes from the team behind Big Machine Distillery, and the story behind the bottle is pretty interesting. The journey started back in 2015 when Scott Borchetta acquired a historic micro distillery in Linville, Tennessee. When you look at the bottle, it's a pretty looking bottle. You have the Tennessee skyline here and the bridge. It's a good looking bottle. Definitely one for the collection right here. Now, obviously, everybody knows the Borchetta name from the music production industry, but this is a different kind of production. Instead of producing records, we talking about producing bourbon. And I like the idea behind that, taking that same attention to craftsmanship and putting it into something completely different. So this is a Tennessee bourbon made in small batches with the goal of producing something bold, smooth, balanced, and completely southern. But enough talking about it. There's only one way to find out what is actually in this bottle. All right, let's do it. That sound right there, that's the beginning of the review. Look at that color. Nice, rich, and amber. And before I taste it, I want to give it a little time in the glass. All right, let's get the nose. Okay, I'm getting vanilla, oak, caramel. Now remember, I'm tasting this for the first time, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm picking up 47 different flavors. So I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what I experienced. Okay. First impression, that's interesting. It's got some warmth to it, but it's not just heat. There's some character behind it. Now, this is where I really want to spend some time. Because I think when you're reviewing bourbon and cigars, it's so easy to get caught up in trying to sound all sophisticated. You start saying things like, I taste hints of toasted oak from the forest of Abyssinia that was harvested during the full moon. Listen, I'm just trying to enjoy my bourbon. So here's what matters to me. How does it smell? How does it hit the palate? How much heat does it have? Is it balanced? And most importantly, would I pour another glass? For me, that's the real test. The first sip gives you an introduction. The second sip tells you whether you actually like it. And now that I've had a couple, I'm getting more. Yes, sir. One thing I appreciate about bourbon is it doesn't necessarily give you everything immediately. Sometimes you have to slow it down. Let it sit. Come back to it, and that's really what Cigars and Sips is about. Slowing down enough to actually experience everything you're consuming. So, first impressions of the Borchetta Small Batch. Nose, palate, finish, smoothness. I'm going to give it a good 7.5. 7.5. I think that's fair. And remember, this isn't an expert laboratory analysis. This is simply my experience with the bourbon. Would I drink it again? Absolutely. And that's what matters to me. I would definitely drink it again. I like the bottle. Definitely going to be an addition to the collection that I already have. So, yeah. Now, You knew I wasn't going to do an episode of Cigar and Sips without a cigar. So let's go ahead and bring in the second half of today's equation, the Perdomo 20th anniversary. Now, if you already follow me on social media, you already know this is the cigar I've been waiting to put alongside this bourbon. And today, the cigar isn't necessarily the main event. The bourbon is. The question is, does the cigar complement the bourbon, or does it completely overpower it? Well, let's find out. I'm going to let that first smoke settle in before I bring the bourbon into the picture. Of course, the cigar is good. Creamy flavors, you know, caramel in there as well. Very rich, smooth burn on the first third right there. I'm liking the smoke, beautifully crafted. The filler feels solid. This is a good cigar. Now let's go back to the Borchetta. Oh, that changed. This is where pairing gets interesting because you're not necessarily looking for the cigar and the bourbon to taste the same. You're looking for them to bring something out of each other. With the cigar, I'm getting a caramel leather kind of taste. With the bourbon, I'm getting a strong hint of oak. That heat is definitely on, baby. And together, for me, that works. Okay, a couple of sips in, you know, spending time with both. I think the interesting thing here is the balance. The Perdomo has enough presence that'll let you know you're smoking a premium cigar. But the Borchetta has enough character that it doesn't disappear behind the smoke. And that's what I'm simply looking for in a pairing. I don't want one to completely dominate the other. I want the bourbon to make me appreciate the cigar and the cigar to make me appreciate the bourbon. And that's exactly what we're getting here. So would I pair these two again? Yes, absolutely. So there you have it. Today was a little different. No cigar lounge, no crowd, just a bottle of Borchetta Small Batch Bourbon at Perdomo 20th anniversary and a little time to slow down. And honestly, sometimes that's all you need. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and let me know what cigar and bourbon combination I should try next. And until next time, remember, light your cigar slow, sip something worth remembering, and let the rest of the world wait a little longer. That's been another episode, y'all. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right, peace.